first of all, we ordered 24 of these shirts, and I was going to wear it in here. We were going to have our team wear it, and just didn't think it was maybe the correct thing to do in some ways. But we ordered them because my equipment man and myself, we decided that we wanted to give to the fund and foundation and send our condolences to his family. It kind of hit home for me with Lacey and all the things that go on, and it was awesome. So all of us, every player will get a shirt, and I think Matt and their football team did an incredible job. It was such a great story. I think the funeral was tonight, and my heart goes out to those people, the family, and everyone in the Purdue family. But it was a strange game. I think, the score was not indicative of the game. I mean, it was a war, and Gene Cady would have been proud, Judd Heathcote. It was a tough physical battle that I didn't think we did a very good job in the first half for the second game in a row, and yet I think we had some guys that played at an incredible level. Cassius, again, had to play too many minutes. But if I had to go for a star of the game, even though Kenny rebounded well, and Nick bounced back to have some incredible stats for a game that I didn't think he was as sharp in. Matt McQuaid was unbelievable, and we guarded him the way we wanted to. We ran him off screens. We had our bigs help out. I thought everything we were going to do was footstep chase. And that kid's a hell of a player. And I just think that Matt, in the second half, I thought Aaron Henry also did a good job on him. So we weren't sharp early. We win the tip and watch the ball go out of bounds and get it to Nick in the first play, and we shoot an air ball. And we just didn't seem as sharp. And then, to their credit, though, we bounced back in the second half of the first half, and just weren't quite ourselves in the second half, but that is a good team. I mean, that is a 9-6 team, but if you look at their losses at Michigan, number 2, at our place, number whatever we are, at Florida State, number 9, at Texas, but those games are by 1 point, a couple of those games, and then Notre Dame, and then Virginia Tech, another top 10. They got to have the best strength of schedule in America. So Purdue is a good team, and he'll never have a game like that again, I bet, as evidence that is he's only been under 20 points twice all year until tonight, and it was partly us, but I think he missed some shots too, maybe like Cassius. You wear down when you got to do so many things. So I was pleased with the win. It was a wild game though, and I was a little disappointed in how we were early, and we got to figure that out. We looked really tired, and boy, we didn't do much in practice. So it'll be good. We get a little longer extended stay here with tomorrow completely off, and Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and so I'll meet with my captains and figure out what we got to do to kind of get our energy back a little bit.
Tom, you mentioned the energy of your team, but Purdue's defensive intensity was, I've watched several of the games, which are the best I've seen.
Yeah.
Would you talk about that intensity? I mean, there were no easy baskets tonight.
No, if you look at their stats, they hadn't played as good defensively as most Purdue teams. To me, they hadn't been as physical, and I think Gene must have called Matt, because I thought it was a war, and it was Cassius. Boy, he, for the minutes he played, the banging and everything, it was a tough game for him. And I thought he did a pretty good job when McQuaid went in foul trouble. It seemed like their defense just kept clamping down, but they missed some shots too when they got it to 7. And they were a much better defensive team than I've seen all year too, so hats off to them for that.
A couple things. One, Matt McQuaid seemed to really almost relish the assignment, and you can see that energy in him a little early. touch on, do you notice that when he gets that as well? And also with Cassius, it seemed like he's got a 6'6", 220-pound guy getting into him. That was something new a little bit, and he handled it better than he would have a year ago.
Yeah, I'd agree with you on that, you know, and they tried to post him. He did a pretty good job on that. You know, all of a sudden he had to cut him out. I think they got some offensive rebounds, and I don't know how many no gel. He only had one, so Cash did a pretty good job on that. But Matt did relish it, you know. Him and this summer and this fall, him and Josh have been such good leaders in a different way. I mean, they've really tried to say, you know, we'll do what we have to do to win, you know. It wasn't about his points or anything like that. He made a commitment that he was going to try to guard him the best he could guard him. And I thought he did I mean, he was just all over. And you know, but our other guys did a good job too. Kenny, X, even Nick did a pretty good job as far as helping out on those constant curls, and they call it swivel. And it's I think he wore down. You know, we wore down chasing him, but I think he wore down and missed some shots that I've seen him make. But physical game.
Cassius, how pivotal was the last few minutes where he scored 9 points after not scoring, and then when they cut it to 4, it seemed like he responded too.
Yeah, you know, that's what great players do, and he did do that. And I was, you know, worried, I guess, that long timeout when I don't know if anybody saw the hooking. I didn't see it at all, so I don't know. But the only good news about that is it was a long timeout, and it gave Cassius a chance to rest a little bit, because he was winded. I mean, he gave me everything he could give me, and you know, we got to get Foster in a little bit more. But as you say, you know, they have a 6'6", 6'7", 220-pound point guard more or less, and we're going to put him on the other kids. So, and then when we were about to sub a little differently, McQuaid got in foul trouble. So it was an interesting night.
Second straight game you've had Aaron in kind of a key moment with kind of key assignment. How have you been able to kind of get that trust so quickly?
You know, I'm working on Aaron. I keep telling him though that you know, he kind of struggles to figure out what he needs to do. You know, and the first half he was really struggling. And so, you know, we challenged him at halftime. In the second half, you know, he played, I thought, harder and better, and played really good. He got some big rebounds, made some big moves, but he too guarded. Cueto was on the bench for I don't know how many minutes, but it was a extended period of time there. And poor Arnie hurt his back. He hadn't practiced in the last 2 days, so his shooting was a little off, and then he got whacked on that. Thought it was a charge, but on that play, and so I don't know where he'll be now, but it was really Aaron was the only guy left, and he did a good job when it was on the line, but he's just got to keep working. Gabe, I thought, did okay when he was in there. Hard to put those freshmen under fire like they are, but they both did, you know, very good jobs, and Aaron exceptional because he's had a little more experience at playing.
Kind of going back to Cassius again, it seemed like in his first maybe 4 minutes, they were kind of getting up and disrupting those lanes when you're trying to get out and run.
Yep.
Was there something that you guys had to do differently to get the running going again?
Yeah,
From that point?
we did talk about that. We knew they were going to try to deny the outlets. They've done that for 20 years, and you know, I thought what they really did a good job of. I thought they rode him a lot, you know, and kind of wore him down, and we started screening for him a little bit, but it's a good tactic if you can get it done, and they had some people get it done. I think if we would have had, you know, we need another player there right now, you know, so we don't have to be so worn down, and then I think we could have heard that. But they did a good job. Cassius did a pretty good job staying pretty patient, because he was getting a little frustrated at times, and I thought he did a pretty good job of getting patient. And you know, as disappointed as I was in Nick the first half, to his credit, you know, he wanted to go in there at the end, and he made a couple big plays, and you know, to have, I mean, I looked at the stats and I said, "Who the hell's that?" You know, he gets 16 points and 9 boards, but as we say, when you go 6 for 6 from the line, that changes a lot of things. And right now, he's making his free throws, and that's a big help for us.
You mentioned Kyle his back the last few days. We saw him get banged up there a little bit at the end. Was that his back as well, or is there anything else there?
Yeah, I really don't know. I didn't ask him. But he got hurt in the last game, and he sprained that ankle a little bit. I think when he started hobbling on the ankle, still played it, probably threw his back out. So he didn't practice either day. And it's kind of funny, as coaches, you always say, things like Nick, everybody knows he came in for 3 days straight and shot free throws, and that's why he's making more. You got to keep doing that. And poor Arnie couldn't practice at all, and it's hard to not practice and then play. I thought he had some great looks, and he just missed them, and he's been making those shots. So we're still not shooting good from the three, and that's a little disturbing for me because I thought Kenny had some great looks. Arnie had some great looks. Cash had to force a few because of shot clock, and he still went 4 for 7. So, and McQuaid did a pretty good job hitting his, but I don't know what Arnie will be like. I think it's a nice time to have a couple days off.
Considering how teams are starting to guard Cassius, how prepared are you, as well as how prepared do you think he is to know that every night they're going to try to make it as hard as they can on him?
Well, it's very true, and I'm prepared for it. I don't have to do it, though. And we told Nick the same thing, they're going to beat the hell out of you in there. They're going to try to frustrate you. They're going to do the things they did, and they did it very well. And, for Cash, there's not many guys that can do that. There's not many 6'7", 220-pound point guards that have the ability to do that. Nogel, we recruited Nogel. He did a very good job of trying to hang with them and do it. And then they brought in the little freshman guard, and he was quick and did a pretty good job. But I think part of it was we're not getting Cassius the rest, and he's still trying to push it. We still score 77 points. We still get up 58 shots, considering we had a decent amount of free throws. So we're doing some good things, and I think if I can get Cassius a little more rest here, if I get some games where we have normal-sized guards, that would help a little bit.
Tom, one or two more. Tom, you're 5-0 in the Big Ten, but with the loss of Joshua at some point, are you impressed with the resiliency of your team to keep winning in the tough conference that you're in, even without Josh?
Hunter, I really am. I don't think I realize maybe how worn these guys can get when we're running like we're running and we're doing what we're doing. Because, like I said, I just couldn't believe how we started out. We looked tired. Forget how we played. And God, we seemed fresh in the walkthrough. We seemed fresh in other things. So, when you start doing this, you get back, school starts, everybody's patting you on the back. There's a lot of distractions now. We had that nice Christmas with none, and so players are going to have to learn. It's just like learning how to deal with this. You're going to have to learn. Their team's going to have to learn to deal with. We're a top 10 team now, and I think we've earned the right to be one, but I don't think we played like one in parts of these 2 games, and that we got to correct, because maybe that first half you don't get up late in the half, you don't win that game on the road. Now we got 4 to 5 on the road, so things get a little hairy here in the next 2 weeks.
Purdue cut to 4 there, and your guys on the floor, they just said, we're good. They just stayed calm. What is it about the veteran leadership on this team that's just helping you guys excel?
Well, they did say that, and I think part of the reason is the experience we all have. We had Kenny out there, and Nick, and Cash, and Arnie, and Cueto. There's seniors and juniors, and they've been through these wars, they've been through these games like this, and finding ways to win is very important part of this whole deal here. But playing good enough and playing to a level where you're taking care of things a little better at the beginning is also part of it when you go on the road. So this will give us something to really talk about, really look at, really try to analyze, why the last two games we've had a little slower starts. Nick was really good at Ohio State, and he even said, he just felt tired today, just felt out of it. So they're allowed to. It's just, but my job is to keep pushing them in a way, and this week it wasn't in practice. And maybe that's part of the problem, so I'll analyze with my captains, then I'll analyze with my staff, and I'll look in the mirror and not like what I see and try to make a better decision.
Thank you. Thanks, Tom.
Thank